guys, welcome back to my channel. We're currently going through a heat wave in England, so what better time than to make some fun summer colored bright neon nails, in specific using the More Favorite collection. This was very kindly gifted to me by Sweetie Nail Supply. I have been eyeing up this collection for a while since I saw Kai Get Pressed Nails by C review it in one of her haul videos. These colors are so fun. This is currently what my design looks like. And we're gonna be using these two stunning colors, light baby blue and this gorgeous true neon vibrant purple. Stunning, they're gorgeous, right? Are you seeing the vision? You may be asking, why is my design currently half finished? Well, that's actually because I completed a design for and started the nails for this lime design here. And then I got halfway through and I was like, you know what? I want to pivot this design because it just wasn't turning out the way that I wanted it to turn out. And you know, sometimes that happens and that's fine. We pivot and we move on. But I'm gonna view it as a positive thing because it means I can use this gorgeous blue and purple combo, which is actually a combination I have never used before. And if you are interested in any of the products that I use throughout, most things are sold on Sweetie Nail Supply as well. You can use code HOPE10 for 10% off at checkout. Full transparency, I also get a little bit of a kickback on that. Thank you very much if you use it. And as always, a huge thank you to the Sweetie Nail Supply team as well. So yeah, we have a half finished design and some really pretty blue and purple colors. Let's go on a little journey together and see how this turns out. The main thing I know right now is just that I want to combine strawberries and cherries, bows, and inks. So this is what my current design looks like. A bit of an explosion right now. So as mentioned, the purple and the blue. I did go online and try to find an image of this collection specifically that looks accurate to what the colors actually look like, because I did find the colors in person look slightly different to what they do in the promo images. So I would definitely recommend looking online for different swatches. This seems the most accurate. It's kind of like, you see here, this green and the yellow are very highlighter colors, but the pinks are quite bright, and then the blues and the purple I also imagine are probably going to be the same, and that's really what I want for this set. I also have the More Art liquids in season 1 and season 2, so I found some comparable colors which I think will match very nicely with these favorite gels. As standard, I'm always taking inspiration from Susie, so no surprises there. I really like this set that she recently did, and just the combination of like fruit and inks and charms. In terms of the design, it's summer, really want to do fruit nails. I think stickers and molds is the way to go with this. This fun sticker sheet with some alternative fruit colors like the purples, I think that will match really well. And I was also considering combining it with like white mold fruit as well, because I have a fruit mold. Why don't we do an alternative fruit design where one hand can be predominantly purple based and then the other hand is predominantly blue based, and otherwise some cute dried flowers which I thought could be cool to mix into the French tips, potentially flakes as well. I also have another sticker sheet here, which is actually for the Osaka Japan Expo 2025. I'm wondering if this would actually fit this set or not. TBD. So this is what we're working with. I'm gonna give myself creative freedom to figure it out as we go as well. For tips, I'm using the Jello Jello Fit Me Again in Stiletto. I use these for my mermaid nails. I really like them, but I'm gonna file them down again because they are very long. That is a lot of length. I'm thinking of cutting them down to like here and potentially having a little bit of a coffin shape instead. It does mean I'll need to cut out the numbers. So I need to figure out some sort of system to identify which nails are which. You guys, that's so sad. I don't think I noted them down, which sizes I use. 8, 6, 7, 10, 8, 2. I'm thinking like this, where I want like a slight edge to it. And I'm gonna file all of the numbers off and basically use that as a guide to where I'm filing to. What I'm gonna do is put like a tack on the nails that I'm likely to mix up. Okay, so do you kind of see the thought process with this? Filed the numbers off, but to make sure that I remember which ones are which, I'm gonna put like long ones near my thumb and then smaller dots near my pinky. Oh, and I can actually stick that one. I think that looks even, right? Because I filed it basically all the way down to the same place on each nail. So like this. Finish filing the other hand and then we can move on to the nails. This is the set that I started and I want to pivot from. You can see the vision, I just don't think that it's the right concept with these colors. Let's see how the Orb gel removes, because I used the Blank Orb Coals gel on these stands. Okay, so it leaves a little bit of a tack on the inside there. But it's pretty easy to remove. And then I guess the true test is how do these tips apply to it if you're going to reuse them. It's definitely on there. Wow, this gel's impressing me, you know? And yes, I'm aware there is some dust under here. The reason why I'm not using alcohol to remove it is because I find with these Jellos, the alcohol makes it cloudy. Oh my God, that's so much quicker. I'm really impressed with this so far. The only thing I would say to note is like applying it, you want to try and not have a curve, because if you have a curve, then it's likely to like move up and down. We'll keep tweaking it in future sets. The Sweetie team kindly put in the Le Hua henna and TPO free base. I'm gonna use this on these because I want quite a bit of the design to be clear. That has a really nice consistency. It's like a thin to medium. So I could see it adding strength but not bulking the nail too much. Okay, voice over time. So let's do a little first impressions of the base coat, but then also the gels. And I'll be giving you my actual first impressions of the gels as well in a minute. As for the Le Hua base coat, it paints so nicely. It's like a thin to medium consistency, which I really appreciate in a base coat because as I think it's become quite clear is I don't really like thick gels because I layer a lot in my sets. I'm also going to be adding some of these flakes to this base coat because would it really be a set by me if I was not adding sparkle in some form or another? No, it wouldn't. And I just thought that these flakes would be like the perfect background element and also a very nice element to add throughout the set in various ways to kind of bring cohesion to it, because this set is definitely more of a experimental one. These are the colors from the more Summer Favorites 2023 collection. I'm just going to give you my first impressions now. That's a really pretty, like, true, slightly cool tone sky blue, but not neon. It's verging on neon, but it's not neon. And then the purple, wow. Oh, that's gorgeous. Just like a nice, slightly cool toned lilac, medium purple, not super neon. And then these are the art liquids that I have. These two blues, I think we'll just use the lighter blue, which is number 17. This from season 1 and then season 2. Number 4 and number 19. And I think these 3 purples will go together really nicely. And then I think these 2 blues match quite nicely as well. So this is kind of the color combo scheme we're using. I also have the white clear, and then this middle one is, I think it's from season 2. It's a white with a purple shimmer to it. May use this, may not. So that's 20, 2, and 1. Now we're coming on to painting with these gels. So I'm going to be doing some reverse ombres. I recently picked up the Mayo French brush in, I think like January, February time. And I usually use it just for the stamping. I actually prefer the inbuilt brush in most gels for perfecting this. As you can see here, like I stamp with the Mayo French to get that kind of angle. And then I go in and perfect it out using a mix of the Mayo French and the actual brush that comes with the gel.
My first impressions on the purple shade is it paints really nicely. The more formula is very smooth. I would say it's like medium to thin viscosity. Is really smooth to work with, but the only thing I notice is that in their more kind of syrupy but opaque gels, it does tend to be a little streaky. So you can see here that in these various designs I'm doing, it kind of streaks a little bit in areas. It also pulls a little bit towards like the bottom of the tip, the top of the tip. So it was honestly quite a work in progress for me to get this even. And on this nail here that I'm doing like all over, it was similar. I also want to say though that the previous More collections I've used are very smooth. I think it's these more opaque ones. I think just the tendency, the nature of these bright, saturated colors that are not a super transparent syrup, nor are they super opaque. And that's across like most brands that I've found. And it really does even itself out on the second coat as well, which is why I also tried to paint like thin coats, 2 thin coats, and then kind of build it up. And on that second coat, it really does create like a very nice, smooth base. So those are my thoughts on like working with these gels and the tips that I would give you if you are to pick up these colors. Overall, I absolutely love the blue and the purple from this collection. They are such nice, fun colors. We're moving on to inks now. So these are, as I mentioned, from the More Season 1 and Season 2 collection. I am doing cross designs. This is inspired by Susie.xxi. I reference her so much in my designs and my sets. But she recently did like an ink set and she did this kind of like striped background. I really liked it. I honestly don't make as much use of nail inks as I should, because I have 2 whole collections, and they're a very fun and quick way for you to create a design or a base design because they don't need curing. Once you know how to like work with them, I feel like they can be very impactful. I'm also going in with the Divock White DP01 painting gel. Just add in some other little lines for definition. This doesn't have to be perfect at all. It's just for some additional little detail. If I messed up slightly, as sometimes that happens, then I'll just clean it up with a petal brush. I love this petal brush. I know I keep yapping on about this petal brush. I love a petal brush for so many reasons. It is so versatile. And then just to seal everything in, I'm also going to be top coating, just because I also found that the gels, they go a little bit tacky after curing. So I did find I needed to top coat it just to give me a nice smooth base to do art on. I'm doing a similar design here, but this time I wanted to use the white and the blue. I'm putting a splodge of blue on this. I don't know how I feel about the way I did this splodge, but it's fine. It's the background. It's just a contrast against this gorgeous purple gem that I got from Japan. Time for the first kind of nail art. We're going to be doing 3D molding. I know I did 3D molding in my previous set, but this time it is also a little bit different. We're going to be using this chunky fruit mold. Like, how chunky is she? She's very big, right? I honestly don't think I knew really what I would use this for when I bought it. It's from the Nail Mall in Korea, but I'm sure you can probably find similar ones on Temu. But the charms in it are very big. And I'm going in with the Jello Jello Zigzag Gel in Zig White for this. It's kind of like a creamy, kind of transparent, translucent, but white gel. It gives a very interesting effect, right? Not completely opaque. And I wanted to try this gel in these molds to see how it would work. This is the first time that I'm actually using this kind of gel in these molds, and I'm actually quite happy to report that I think it worked nicely. So far I've used like a clear gel from the Favori, which is specific for 3D molds, as well as that DP01, as well as that Divock painting gel, and now this kind of gel as well. They all work really nicely in molds and they give kind of different effects. I did want to do it in white as well because I wanted this set to be more like alternative fruit. White would just fit the best. I don't know how I feel about these cherries. I think they fit the concept. They look kind of odd to me, but the concept is odd fruit. So in that regard, it fits, right? I do like to remove the excess whilst it's still in the mold. I find that the easiest, but if I accidentally forget to do that, I will go in with these tiny scissors just to snip off the excess. Not ideal, but it is what it is. And now we can move on to the pièce de résistance, I'm probably butchering that word, of this set, which is also the nail design that is so satisfying. It looks so crunchy and so juicy. It is these 3D strawberries. I'm sure you've probably seen this design before. I have attempted a version of this nail in the past, but it was using the Jello Jello zigzag gel. It was actually in my Divock Cherry Blossom review video from like last year, and it worked okay, but I really did want to attempt this more like crispy version, this cleaner version of this nail. And I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys, this nail design takes time. It takes so long to do. I think in total I did 2 nails. I did a blue one and a purple one. It probably took me about an hour to do these 2 nails. Also, okay, yeah, bearing in mind, part of that probably was because I was learning. This was the first time I was doing this nail and I really wanted to get it correct on the first go. But just FYI, it does take time. I've painted my leaves and my little seeds. For the seeds, I do actually really like using a dotting tool as well and like kind of dragging it out. Fruit is not symmetrical, right? So this does not need to be symmetrical, but I do find if you paint the seeds in quite an even pattern, it does make your lines a lot easier to draw later on. I'm gonna go in with Crazy Top Thick and the number 1 Sweetie Nail Supply liner brush. Also make sure that you have all of your supplies ready as you are doing this, because you need to work quite quickly once you've got your line ready. Perfecting the line is the most difficult part. You want to make it thin but smooth, and also you want to make sure that you pull the edges out to the exact place that you want them on the sides. Does that make sense? So that you kind of get that definition both on the sides. It doesn't just look like it's 3D from the front. Painting your seeds in a pretty symmetrical, even pattern does really help with your line guide as well. I'll just show you once more how this looks in real time. You need to be somewhat quick but accurate with it, and then immediately flash cure after each line. This is in 2.5 speed right now, but you can still see that it's taking me quite a while. This is 2.5 speed, but it still takes a while. It just takes a while. Essentially, like, draw your line, you want to perfect it, flash cure it immediately, and then go on to your next line. But it just takes long. It's a long design. I also wanted to add these little bits on the top as well, just because I thought it was missing something if I didn't add those there. Make sure that you're cleaning your brush off in between, because I do find Crazy Top Thick tends to like stick to the tip of the brush. I'm adding in just some dimension onto that leaves part. This is how it looks. And then we can go on with the second layer. Oh my God, guys. And I was like, oh, I really did not want to have to do a second layer. But this second layer really does add the dimension. Just with this second layer, make sure that you are getting it even and trying to prevent any like ridges of up and down, because obviously you're like putting lines on top of each other, right? So it just takes a while. Just take your time, try to get it right the first time as you go through it, and just accept that it's gonna take a while. This is how they both look. You can see from one layer of the lines versus two. The two, it's worth it. It really does add that definition that you want. If anybody else has done this design, please also let me know how you found it. If you have any hacks for making it quicker, because I just think it's the nature of Crazy Top Thick. I have a really love-hate relationship with it. It gives such good effects, but you have to go slowly when you work with it, and you have to go accurately. It just takes quite a bit of skill, and I'm still developing that skill. Honestly, from here on out, it's just a lot of stickers and charms and building out nails. As I mentioned in the beginning, I really did want to play around with composition and training my eye, because I take a lot of inspiration from Susie. And one thing she's really good at that I find is like piecing together stickers and charms and frames and gems in a way that creates a really visually appealing design. In the past, I've tended towards doing like one concept per nail. I think that was also potentially because I used to wear very short tips, and recently the tip length has been extending and extending. I will be very honest with you. I think since I had my extensions done in Japan by Toko at Nail Sucre, I got used to that length of extension. So now I know how to live. I know how to go about the world with that length of extension. And I also just love how much real estate you have on longer tips. Like, it looks more visually appealing. It's a bit more like clickety clackety, you know, like if you're going about life with longer nails, it's just a bit like more satisfying to do things. Anyway, back to the kind of design. As you can see, all I'm really doing here is just adding some dimension. Those stickers are really cute. These like juicy stickers. They are kind of like jelly stickers though, so I needed to like push them down and try and seal them with a top coat quite quickly after adding them to the nail. And then I'm adding in some definition. Just add a little bit of light refraction. I find if you add like blobs of 3D gel on things like this, like it catches the light in a really nice way. And then like as you shift the nails in the light, it'll have a shift to it, even though it's not like necessarily a shimmery thing. You can see the same is happening here with these little transparent half balls that I got from Osh. And then after that, it's really just a case of top coating it. I think in total it probably took me about like another hour and a half to build out the composition on the other nails, just because I was going with the flow. And on this one, I feel like I kind of messed up. I did top coat the charm with a normal top coat, and I think I should have done it with matte. So this is what it looks like now. It looks a lot better, right? It doesn't look immediately the same as the purple charms. I'm not really sure how you would top coat these, because I feel like you need to top coat them to seal in the color so it doesn't chip away. Yeah, TBD on that point. Here's just some extra bonus clips of the second hand as well. I did some blending of the colors. They perform similarly with the blending. And then OMG guys, I'm gonna swap back over to myself here.
Guys, I think I nudged the bow as I put it in the lamp, so it cured like this, so we have to improvise. I'm gonna put another little sticker. It was supposed to be like centered. Oh my god, it's fine. We'll just put this here and then I guess fill that gap with something.
I'm top coating everything on the second hand as well. And then we are essentially done. This is what we have. I think visually overall together, it comes together so well, right? I'm really happy with the outcome of this. It was definitely a wild card set, but she pulled through. I always do a final cook for 120 seconds, and then I'm going in and then wiping the inhibition layer off everything. This is the most satisfying part of doing nails to me all the time, is just popping those nails off the stands, and it is the most satisfying thing to pop them off when you're using the caramel tip gel.
Ta-da! I can't get over how juicy these strawberries look. I really like these. And I really like how the ink nails turned out as well. Also, bonus review, this is what the stands look like. They look quite matte. I don't know if anything else will actually stick on them right now, so let's test it. Oh, that's actually still really secure. So far, I actually do really recommend this Blank Blank Orb Gel, Caramel Tip Gel. Okay guys, this is how they turned out. What are we thinking? What are we saying? They are super fun. I think in natural daylight, the colors look a lot more pastel bright, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, I really love the colors. I think the shades in like my nail station lighting are quite vibrant, and then they pull a bit more like pastel bright in this day lighting. So overall really pretty. Cohesively, the set comes together really nicely as well. I want to do a little bit of a summary on the gels, just because now I have swatched the whole collection as well. Main thoughts are, they're really nice. They're like your kind of standard More formula if you've ever tried More gels before, like a thin to medium consistency, and they paint beautifully. The only thing I would note on these gels, and I think that this is more of a color specific point, they can be a little bit streaky, but I find that that's usually the case with any like bright saturated colors from most brands that I try. If they're not really a syrup, but they're not an opaque, they're kind of like in that middle place and they're bright and transparent, there's just a little bit more of a tendency for it to be not super silky smooth. That's why I painted in 2 coats, 2 thin coats, so that you can kind of build up that even opacity. Also, they do self-level. What I was finding was I'll paint it and then I'll leave it, I'll set it to the side for like a minute, and when I come back to it, it's self-leveled into itself really nicely. As expected from the standard More formula, I'll put images in of what the swatches look like. The gels perform pretty similarly across the collection, so those first kind of 3, those like pinky nude shades, paint them in thin coats, they self-level, they're like a nice bright but not neon color. The yellow and the green are a little bit different, so they're definitely highlighter colors, and I do find that in the swatches, they pull very similarly. If anything, it's just that the green is not really like a lime green, it's more like a slightly cooler yellow. And then the blues and the purple are all kind of similar to the pinks in the sense of bright but not neon. They paint nicely, leave them self-level, and you'll get a beautiful kind of result from them. I will be doing a detailed discussion on the actual swatches in my upcoming organization video for gel swatches. If you watched my previous haul video, I'll link it in the description box. I have recently added quite a few collections and gels to my collection, so I'm going to be doing a whole swatching project and organizing them soon. If you also have the collection, please let me know down below your thoughts on it, any tips you have maybe for working with them. Again, a huge thank you to the Sweetie Nail Supply team for gifting me these for my honest review and to create a nail set with. A couple of thoughts on the nail set as well. I'm overall really happy with how it came out. I wanted to push myself, as I mentioned, to go in with a bit less of a structured design and allow myself to play around with composition, kind of what I felt would look best. And I think, yeah, it turned out nicely. Especially these strawberry nails, they are so eatable. Like, I just want to, you know, like, they look so juicy in person and even on camera. But if you want to attempt these strawberry nails, please do know it's going to take you a while if you do this method. There may be a better method for doing this, maybe with a different type of gel or some tips and tricks that I don't know that can speed it up. But I do really think it's one of those styles where you kind of need to take your time because it's so based on symmetry and lines. I also really do like this thumbnail here as well, like the kind of framing and that composition. I'm currently working on like 4 more nail sets, so please expect more nail set designs all the way through July and August. I just finished watching K-pop Demon Hunters as well, and I have been inspired. So that's currently a set that I'm working on. Shall I give you a little sneak peek? This is a little sneak peek of what we have. I really want to play around with the Divock 4 Seasons Summer collection with this because the color palettes would combine together so perfectly. So if you want to get notified of when that goes live, as well as my organization, decluttering, then please subscribe, and also please give it a like. I always post real-time updates to my Instagram stories as well, so feel free to follow me over there. If you're interested in anything shown throughout the video, I do have all the links in the description box, as well as my own personal Sweetie Nail Supply code if you would like to support the channel. Thank you very much if you do choose to use it. I think that's going to be everything, so thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.